Everybody, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Today's question is about refractory period. What is it? How does it affect you? And how can we improve it or increase it, decrease it? Basically, the refractory period is the time it takes for your to be able to have another orgasm. So remember, when you're younger, for example, you can have an orgasm, whether it's by yourself or you have sex, and then maybe minutes later or maybe an hour or two later, you can go at it again, get hard, and be able to have another orgasm. And unfortunately, as you get older, that refractory period increases, right? So basically, it takes you longer to be able to get an erection again and be able to have an orgasm. So maybe later on in life, it may take you 2 days or 3 days, or maybe you can only quote unquote do it once a week. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Basically, what causes that to increase and decrease, and how can we fix that so you can be able to perform and get an erection sooner, faster, and be able to have orgasms more often. So I'll get to that in 2 seconds. Before I continue, I want to let you know that the refractory period, hence the time or phase following your next orgasm, is totally normal and natural. So don't think there's anything wrong or weird. However, how long this refractory period lasts depends on a variety of factors, which is what I'm going to discuss, including solutions to improve and shorten the duration for or of that refractory period. All right, so let's first discuss the 3 biggest causes of poor or long refractory period. All right, first is hormonal changes. I know your time is valuable, so let's get started with the first and primary reason, which would be hormonal changes. Now, before you have sex, you're in a driven mode, right? Your goal is to have sex and hopefully have an orgasm. Now, this is fueled by dopamine, a neurotransmitter, and by one other super hormone, which I'll tell you about in a minute. Now, dopamine is referred by some people as the quote-unquote pleasure chemical, or others will actually refer to it as the pursuit chemical. So it makes sense that dopamine is high because you are now in the pursuit of sex and the pleasure of having an orgasm. Now, dopamine is associated with sexual arousal. Now, after you have an orgasm, things change. Dopamine drops dramatically while another hormone called prolactin shoots up. In fact, dopamine and prolactin typically work on opposite spectrums. As one goes up, the other comes down. Thus, prolactin induces a feeling of sexual satisfaction and reduces arousal. So prolactin does the opposite. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that both men and women, and pretty much all mammals, produce the same hormones. The main difference is the ratio and amount. And I mention this because, for example, both men and women have testosterone and estrogen, right? However, men have a lot more testosterone than estrogen comparatively. And prolactin is typically more of a quote-unquote female hormone. Now, it goes up dramatically when women are breastfeeding. And prolactin is required to produce milk. Now, in regards to men, high prolactin can actually cause milk to come out of your nipples, yes. Now, this typically happens in extreme cases, people who have extremely high prolactin due to tumors and so forth, and also bodybuilders when they take certain drugs such as nandrolone. And if prolactin and estrogen are both higher and very high levels in men, you can get gynecomastia, also called man boobs. Now, one other negative of high prolactin is hair loss, which most doctors or so-called hair experts will not tell you because they just don't know. In fact, this is seen in birds that are molting. Now, molting is basically the shedding of old feathers. Think of it as shedding as hair in other mammals like us. And this is triggered due to, again, a high surge in prolactin in birds. Now, one last thing. As prolactin and estrogen go up, testosterone typically will come down. And I mention all this because if you think about it, it makes sense. Now, what happens as men get older? Their refractory period increases and it takes them longer to get an erection and have orgasms. As men get older, their dopamine and testosterone levels drop. Also, their estrogen typically rises, at least in the ratio to testosterone, compared to when they were younger. Men also, they start to lose hair. They get fatty chests, right? That fat underneath their chest. They get man boobs or even gynecomastia in extreme cases as they get older. They aren't as horny and have a harder time getting erections. And as men get older, they just aren't as driven in life. This, of course, includes sexually driven. Anyway, I can go on about this, but I think you get the point. So what's the solution? Well, first we want to increase dopamine, and then another super hormone that I alluded to earlier, which is testosterone, all right? Yes, higher testosterone means more dopamine, which means higher libido, more drive, better erections, and yes, typically lower prolactin. And how do we do this? Well, I'll talk about that in a minute because I also need to mention other causes of poor refractory period before we go on. Now, one cause is neurological responses. Basically, after you have an orgasm, your body's nervous system shifts to a state of from arousal to a more relaxed state. Now, this will obviously reduce your body's response to sexual stimulation right after. Of course, higher testosterone will allow you to bounce back and recover faster. Now, we also can't forget about psychological and emotional state of mind. Stress, fatigue, and a lack of interest can extend that refractory period longer. Remember, for example, how stimulated you get when you first meet someone new, right? That's associated with higher testosterone and yes, especially dopamine levels. Everything's new, cool, and exciting and different. Unfortunately, over time, you get used to that same stimuli and thus the same person or the same sexual act or position or the same type of porn will no longer shoot up your dopamine levels and hence less excitement and sexual arousal. Now, another factor, as with everything, will always have to do with your genetics, your age, and physical health. Some people genetically just have a longer refractory period, all right? And also just aging, hormonal imbalances, and poor physical health will all contribute to a longer refractory period. All right, now that we know the causes, let's talk about the solutions for improving and shortening your refractory period. All right, the first is improving dopamine levels. Remember how earlier I said that the longer refractory period is caused by an increase in prolactin, and how as prolactin goes up, dopamine levels come down? Well, the opposite is true as well. Thus, we want to increase your dopamine levels, and we can do this naturally or with drugs. Let's first talk about drugs. For example, Parkinson's drugs typically increase dopamine levels or increase the body's receptor sensitivity to dopamine. Why? Because people with Parkinson's are lacking dopamine levels, among other neurological problems that go beyond the scope of today's topic. So for almost 20 years, I've been personally taking a drug called salicyline. Now, it's also called aldapril or Depronel. Now, I'm not going to talk about this drug today. However, if you want me to, in future videos, talk about salicyline, please comment below and let me know. Of course, like this video and subscribe at the same time so I know you're interested. In fact, clinical studies have shown that those who subscribe, like, and share my videos have dramatically higher dopamine levels. So join the rest of the cool people. Now, there are other drugs that increase dopamine or are dopamine agonists, such as bromocriptine or cabergoline, but salicyline is, I believe, the safest out of these drugs and has many anti-aging and cognitive benefits. All right, so I'll talk about that in a future video if you want. However, legal disclaimer, don't listen to anything I say. Always speak to your doctor before you do anything. But let's first start with natural ways of improving your dopamine levels. And one of the best is taking L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine is an amino acid. Now, I personally take 500 milligrams 2 to 3 times daily, but start off with just 500 milligrams on an empty stomach in the morning. Yes, L-tyrosine works, but also gives you energy, so don't take it at night. Also, taking an herb called Mucuna perennis extract can help. Make sure it contains 25%, and the active really ingredient that does it all is L-Dopa, so you make sure 25% L-Dopa extract. I take 200 milligrams daily. Now, this is found in AlphaViril. It's a supplement. It's a testosterone boosting, libido enhancing, and erection improving supplement that I've been taking for over 20 years. Now, I put the direct link to AlphaViril below in the description area if you want more details and all that stuff, which leads me to the next topic, and that is increasing your testosterone levels. Now, as I stated earlier, increasing testosterone levels will help boost dopamine and, of course, so many other benefits associated with naturally high testosterone levels. Of course, I've made so many videos about how to increase your testosterone levels naturally and optimize your hormones that I'm not going to talk about that in today's video. As a subscriber, you probably already know how if you've been listening to me for any length of time, but in case you want more details about the best ways to increase your testosterone levels naturally, I've put links to this topic below in the description area, and I'll put a link at the end of this video. And yes, AlphaViril, that supplement, has numerous natural herbs and vitamins to help boost your testosterone levels. This is why AlphaViril has been a bestseller for 20 years and my favorite supplement, because it deals with the primary hormonal factors which I discussed today, which is testosterone, estrogen, prolactin, dopamine, and others. It's all about having balance. Again, the direct link to AlphaViril is below if you want more information on how it works, the ingredients, dosages, and so forth. Now, I think I'll end today's video here. I know it's gotten a little bit long and probably more detailed than most people want, or maybe even have the attention span. So again, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your questions below. I'm here to help you because I want you to learn from my mistakes. Of course, as always, like it and share this video and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I wish you a very happy and healthy day.